Welcome back once again to the Pitlane Pals Formula One podcast. In this episode, we're going to be recapping the Emilia Romagna, I'm going to say that very American, Grand Prix, as well as previewing Monaco this upcoming weekend, because we're cutting a little close here between the two, so we're going to cover two birds with one stone. And let's be honest, there's not much to talk about with Monaco.
I was about to say.
It's going to be qualifying predictions, and I don't want to make, and that's going to be it. So that that doesn't need a big episode in of itself. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Max Verstappen wins the Imola Grand Prix this weekend in very Max Verstappen fashion. Had clean air, you're never gonna get him, kind of weekend. Once again, beats the McLarens on pure force. And that's how he goes about it. I will say he did get a little lucky with the VSC timing on his pit stop. Do I think that changes the outcome? Who's to say? Probably not. I don't think so. I think he looked very strong the whole time anyways. So I think even if he didn't get that kind of, advantage, even by the time the safety car happened, the full safety car happened, he just kind of pulled away again. So
yeah, 100%.
I think ultimately it was a given. Just a stellar weekend for Max Verstappen.
I mean, recapping it from the get-go, right? As you said, stellar weekend, no question. That move in turn 3 actually, because the little bend is also a corner. Oh my, what a move! It was beautiful. It was beautiful because it was. I mean, Piastri got kind of squeezed on the outside there. It was another contact or go off kind of situation, but it's just
but that's also that corner.
Yeah, exactly. It's that corner. It's every move ever going into a corner like that. Amazing move, and then afterwards he was able to pull away. Right, so that kind of like summarizes saying, okay, deserved or not deserved, or how did this go about? He was definitely quick enough. He had the pace, no question. And then Imola is also a pretty difficult circuit to overtake on. I mean, we're not saying Monaco difficult, but it doesn't make it too easy, and you can struggle a lot if you don't have the biggest pace advantage. But he was able to get away with it, and he was able to pull away. And most of my race was spent watching the two McLarens, because oh my. At first I thought, okay, Piastri went in way too early. I was like, okay, Piastri came in too early. That's the way it is. I mean, unlucky, that thing's done for him. Norris is going to come home with this, no issue. Then Norris pits, and the second, not even the second, but like the next lap, instantly someone bins it. I don't think even if someone bins it, I think it has an engine malfunction or something, I believe.
Yeah, Esteban Ocon's car just broke.
Yeah, it broke. And I just thought, this cannot be. I can't believe it. One more lap. And this is like, even the TV commentator said this, it was a weird kind of point for Lando to pit, but his pace was also dropping off rapidly. Like he was holding a pretty steady pace, and then just dropped off fully. But one more lap, and we wouldn't be here. And I thought, fuck.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out to be that bad, because he was pushing pretty well. And then obviously the cars in front of him went to box, and he was able to overtake some of the cars. And then there was Piastri right in front of him with used tires. And it was just like, yeah, okay. I mean, this is fine.
There definitely was. I would say McLaren's strategy wasn't awful. It wasn't optimal though either for either driver. True. And so I think it was definitely easier for Max Verstappen to take it home in the end, but it doesn't mean that was like the only reason. I think ultimately a lot of it, his pace was just better. He was just having a great race from beginning to end. He's just like one of those like, it's like any other driver on the grid could be in the front and can make a mistake. Max Verstappen in clear air is going to win, like every single time.
Yeah.
So I still think he wins in a lot of context, in a lot of different outcomes and a lot of different scenarios. He still comes out with the victory, but I do think it was just a little easier because of the way McLaren handled their strategy. Just like, I guess not handled their strategy. The safety cars kind of made it weird, but it wasn't like they did the optimal best,
Yeah, for sure.
case scenario.
For sure.
I guess it could have been played out a little better. But it wasn't like awful. It wasn't like a bottle, and ultimately they still got a double podium.
I will say though,
go ahead.
I am glad they did not interfere. I
Me
was worried.
too.
I was worried McLaren was going to come in and say, "Guys, swap positions. Let Norris try and get Verstappen." Because I mean, for the team game, sure, but they're far ahead in the championship right now. Like McLaren in standings, 100%. And I feel like this is a showing of they have learned. Because it would have made no point. I mean, at the end of the day, it would have just made the situation weird. They would have, I mean, Norris was going to pass Piastri anyways at some point, sure. But you don't know that if you would have interfered with it. So I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they let them race. And I was scared it would happen.
Let's look at it this way. So what I was going to say also is, some people are saying this conversation now of Max winning is kind of him letting, McLaren know, hey, I'm not out of this championship yet. But I think what's nice is that the McLaren Constructors Championship, that's not going to, I would put down, then not actually, but
I was going to say,
I could. Somebody in a better financial situation than me could put down their entire life savings on McLaren winning the Constructors' Championship, and I think I would get it. That's not gonna go anywhere. Nothing's gonna change unless they get found like they were like doing something illegal and then like we replay 2007 Spygate or something. Otherwise, I think we're good. I think McLaren, you could put a lot of money on that. But the Drivers' Championship between Piastri and Norris does seem to be the main fight. Do I think that Max Verstappen winning in Imola puts him just as a name we have to keep? I don't think you can ever say no to Max Verstappen, but do I really think he's going to finish higher than Norris or Piastri when it's all said and done this year? Not really. I just think that car is too inconsistent. I think there's too many other cars as well that have good weekends.
Right.
The Mercedes specifically can outperform Max and Red Bull on any given weekend. Ferraris, I don't really know.
Quite the year.
We could talk about that. We could talk about that later. But I would say specifically the Mercedes of Russell and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen are going to be kind of going, it's going to be McLaren and one of them on the podium for a lot of the races this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think because McLaren's always going to be one of those teams, even if there's a weekend where Max Verstappen beats Norris or Piastri, there's also going to be weekends where Max isn't on the podium and Norris, Piastri still are.
Yeah.
I think just because they're always going to be up there, there's never really going to be, unless, again, specific things happen like incidents and crashes. For the most part, on the given weekend, they're going to be in the top three, both of them, most weekends this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we've seen weekends where Norris has messed up qualifying and still ended up on the podium right behind Piastri. So I don't think... And the only time we haven't really seen it was like Australia, where Piastri was, he went off-roading briefly, cut some grass, and unfortunately, whatever. But I just think because I guess the way I want to say this is that the floor is so low or so high for McLaren on any given weekend.
Exactly. Exactly.
And while I don't think that is necessarily as true for Max, while Max is fantastic, he's going to have stellar weekends. He's going to win more races this year. He's not going to be as consistently on the podium as the two McLarens will be. And so for that reason, I just think, I don't know. I think where the gap's going to get bigger. I don't think this is going to be something like a trend we see where Max ends up creeping back up into the championship. I think his name will be there for a little bit. He'll be the last to be eliminated, but I do think Norris and Piastri, it'll be one of them that'll win the championship at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. And I think the big difference here is, because I swear I saw multiple posts on this topic, is the fact that McLaren has a really, 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 really good understanding of their car right now. I feel like they're in a really good place with knowing, okay, this will benefit the car the best, and this is the way we should move on with it. And this is that's the topic where Red Bull's struggling. I believe Horner even talked about this. The data Red Bull has been getting from the wind tunnel does not match anything that happens on track. And I saw some Instagram posts on this topic, basically talking about the drive belt they use for their wind tunnel being the main issue, because obviously there's a lot of aerodynamic testing going on in the background with these teams, and it's not something you really think about. But when you do these testings, you can't have these mock-up cars then running on like a smooth belt, because that's not going to show the actual airflow of like a street. And I saw on Instagram, someone talked about this, saying that that's where Red Bull's going wrong. That's why the data is not matching up, because with a smoother belt, you can keep the car lower to the floor than you could on an actual normal street. Not a normal street, but like an actual F1 track. And that's then where it doesn't make much sense, and the airflow then is different in the simulator and in the wind tunnel to where it actually is in the car, because I said this multiple times, they're struggling with their car and they're struggling to find the actual pace in the car. And this is also something where Max Verstappen, he can still shine, but he can't shine just as much, because he was always praised for being able to drive that car very close to the ideal, where they don't care about the drivability of it. So hypersensitive or hyper understeery, that sort of way. But when you can't really reach that ideal because the data doesn't make sense, you're kind of screwed. And for that, obviously, Mercedes has been super strong. Russell has been doing incredible this year. Mercedes is ahead of Red Bull in the driver's standing. So they're actually in P3.
Constructors.
Constructors, sorry, not drivers, constructors. They're P3, and Kimi Antonelli has been doing incredible as well. There's going to be a podium coming soon, 100%, must be, because he has been an absolute flyer. Yeah.
I think just before we wrap up the Red Bull topic and the championship topic, I think it all goes back to this. I don't like very much when people say Max Verstappen is driving a tractor to race wins.
No, for sure.
We have completely lost the definition of the word tractor in our sport. In our holy sport, the word that tractor holds so much weight for how we describe a slow vehicle. We need to regroup in what we call a tractor. That Red Bull is not a tractor. What's a tractor is the Alpine or the Kick Sauber.
For example, yeah. I was about to say tractor, Kick Sauber, that's where we're kind of at.
Yeah. The Red Bull is a quick car. Objectively, it is probably, on pure performance alone, probably the second quickest car on the grid. I think where it goes wrong, right, is on its drivability. And I think what we talk about all the time is this concept of that Red Bull, yes, it is a quick car that can win races if driven properly. But it's so hard to drive properly, which is where McLaren gets the edge, and other teams get the edge on the second driver, Yuki Tsunoda in this case, because it's not that Yuki is necessarily doing awful. That car's just undrivable for him. And Max Verstappen is just so good that it makes it look, like he's pulling something over the edge on every given weekend. It looks like he's driving a tractor to wins because of where his teammates at, but it's not that the car is objectively slow. It's that it's objectively hard to drive. Those are two different things. And so there is weekends where Max Verstappen's even having a hard time driving that car, which just goes to show even the best driver in the world can struggle, have some bad showings in that car. You can't go and expect, obviously Yuki Tsunoda isn't a 4-time world champion, to then also pull out the same results in that car. So again, I just to kind of again make that point clear, I do think I understand where the McLaren benefits. It's very good on race pace because it becomes very easy to drive because the tires age very well and several other things. So I understand that. I'm not saying that the Red Bull should be competing with the McLarens every weekend. I'm not saying McLaren should be losing to Red Bull. Obviously, every weekend they probably have the quickest car on most, but they are in a position where if they make a mistake, a Red Bull can come in and take a win because Max Verstappen's so good. Not because the car is easy to drive, but also not because Max Verstappen is driving some like super slow car over the finish line. It's like the tunnel looks quicker than what they're seeing on track because the tunnel's not accounting for drivability. The tunnel's accounting for pace, and the pace is not that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And Max Verstappen can sometimes pull out that pace despite the car being an absolute awful thing to drive. So I just want to make that point clear because I think we throw around tractor, and yes, I do think Max Verstappen deserves his flowers.
Oh no!
The flowers. For what he pulls out in the car, and I think it's a testament to his skill.
For sure,
but
no question.
It's not because the car's slow. It's not like he's pulling out something from an Alpine. Like if Max Verstappen was in a real tractor, do I think he'd still be pulling out very impressive performances? Yes. Is he winning? No. So let's manage our use of the word tractor a little bit, in my opinion.
Before we move on, though.
Oh, wait, I wanted to move on.
Wait. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I knew
ready.
you were ready, but we have to talk about the airport of a fucking crash of Yuki Tsunoda.
Oh my God!
In qualifying, we don't have to touch up a lot about qualifying, but we just have to talk about that crash because oh my goodness, that guy went flying. Imola is the kind of track where it's like you're always you're a few inches away from becoming airborne because it's like you have to cut the curbs so much and it makes it very flowy, but the place is literally an airport. Like it's ridiculous. And when you see crashes in Imola, 90% of the times they go absolutely flying. And this is something I feel like a lot of people underestimate, and it's something where actually I had to reality check myself. Because last year I was in Singapore and I was at the Singapore track. It was like a few weeks ago from the race, and I was on like a little rent bike, and I decided to like cut across the track and go on some curbs, and curbs on TV always look like that. Oh, brush over with the tires. They make that little funny sound and make the cars go quicker, but these things are like almost fucking stairs. Like you can't underestimate how big these curbs are, and most of the time that doesn't really matter. But like if you were to look at the curbs in Imola, and if you were shunting over curbs that are like this big or something every single lap, and then you're a few inches too far to the side, which was Tsunoda, driver error, no question, 100%. You can't go that far to the left, but you just get absolutely sent into space. And that happened with him. He was flipped over, and I thought, oh my goodness, what a crash. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's also the same corner where, not to get super dark, several drivers have had either life-altering or life-ending injuries at that corner in Imola. A track that is known to have a bad history with that as well. Before the cars were safer. And so I think it is also a testament. Yeah, I think that is a testament to where technology has gotten in Formula One. I do think we all collectively complain, and I do too, about the cars being way too big. And I do think there is a way to make the car safe and small. I think in the modern day we can pull that off. But I do think a lot of the reason the cars are so big nowadays is because it is safer. It's safer to have them bigger, and allowing to have the halo the way it is has obviously saved several lives. Romain Grosjean, Yuki Tsunoda, Zhou Guanyu, et cetera. Lewis Hamilton, yeah. The list goes on. The halo has saved a lot of lives, and that's another testament to that. And so I do think, as much as I can say, I'm not a fan of where the cars are today with their 1.6 liter V6s, and other complaints I have. They have made massive strides in driver safety, because that crash 100% should have been significantly worse. We should be talking about prayers up for Yuki Tsunoda. He's in whatever, and he just walked away like it didn't happen. And then, on a more positive note, went out there the next day, starting from the pit lane, and scored points, which actually I do think deserves some flowers. I think it deserves some flowers. And it's funny because I don't think anybody else gets.
I was about to say that the flowers reference happened very, very early, but there was a flowers incident where Caden had like a full ass episode, where he just went, I gotta give out so many flowers, and then just went on the whole podcast. He was like, so flowers to him, flowers to them. Should I cut it in? Or what was the idea?
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, off camera we're gonna discuss an idea I have.
Okay.
Post recording on this topic. New segment perhaps. I
gotta get flowers merchandise coming soon.
Yeah, obviously Pitlane flowers. Here's your flowers with just a picture of me.
I'm still gonna hang that up in my room. Oh my god. Flower delivery man.
I'm moving soon, so the new poster on my wall is just gonna be me holding out flowers.
I love that.
I'll actually, you know what? I'll get some plants. Ooh, I'm gonna get some plants and hold them up and say I'm giving out flowers. You get a flower. You get a flower.
Oh god, dude.
My whole background is gonna be in a garden in my apartment building.
You know, the podcast is gonna go crazy when there's like a ton of roses in the background.
Yeah. It's just going to be me with like a stash of roses I'm whipping out behind my ear. All right. Anyways, but Formula One topic. Go.
Sorry.
To get back on track. No, but Yuki Tsunoda had a brilliant drive. Again, I think it goes to testament that while that car isn't easy to drive, he is doing pretty well.
Yeah, for sure.
And I still think that was the right move. I do want to see some higher scoring points position, but he's consistently scoring points. Even when he's had a couple mistakes in qualifying, he's scoring points. And I think Red Bull has now come to terms with how difficult their car is to drive, given the circumstances of everything, that I hope they let him ride out another year in the Red Bull, because I think right now he's doing what he has to and what he can, given the cards he's dealt. I do want to note that a few teams have a point score ratio of 100 to 0%. Obviously, Yuki Tsunoda has scored points, so it's not him, but he is obviously on the spectrum, but that's just because Max Verstappen's insane. Isaac Hadjar is the only one who's scored points out of him and Liam Lawson. And I saw an interesting conversation. We've seen Lawson pull out good results, right? He got in very quickly with Yuki and was competitive with Yuki, earned the Red Bull seat, however you want to look at it. There was promise there. Right now, He looks very bad. So is the question, is he that bad or is Isaac Hadjar that good? Because Isaac Hadjar does look very good. I think he might be the surprise of the season so far. I think we're all... I mean, if you're really looking at how impressive, like nobody saw, everybody's talking about Kimi Antonelli and Oliver Behrman, blah, blah, blah. Here comes this guy who most people weren't even really talking much about prior to his signing. Obviously, he was competing with Gabriel Bortoleto for the F2 Championship last year. I'm not saying he was a nobody, but a lot of people didn't really have him on their radar as, a rookie to, watch and, when we had Antonelli and Behrman, who looked like good prospects, and the F2 World Champion and Gabriel Bortoleto, Isaac Hadjar has come out and been a consistent performer. Very consistent performer. So I think that there is an interesting conversation to have there. Does Lawson deserve some benefit of the doubt? but also he has more experience than Hadjar at the same time.
Yeah.
So you think you should expect more from him, and ultimately, there's a good chance they're going to want to get a new driver next year. It sounds like, as they have somebody in their academy they're eyeing pretty heavily, and they're going to possibly just get rid of who does worse. And so I think it's unfortunate for Lawson, yes, but
it's F1.
I guess I can't.
It's
F1.
It's F1. You can't take care of these drivers with your fluffy gloves on. It's a harsh sport.
That's a really funny way to say that.
it's not like Lawson hasn't had a chance so far. He's had.
I mean, he was in the Red
plenty
Bull
of
at one
chances. Exactly, he was in the Red Bull at one point.
For about 2 weekends.
It's like something we've also. At first, I was like, okay, yeah, give him some time. We'll see how he develops. It's just something where I'm not really defending him anymore. I do think he should finish the season because I just don't think it makes a ton of sense to change drivers mid-season. But it's at a point now where it's like.
Well, and then we've talked
it's
about
like
it.
It's like that old dog in the family, you know.
You can't keep saying that about everybody. That analogy was good for somebody. I don't remember who it originally was. It was great for one person.
I swear it happens every single podcast.
We need to let it die.
Every single podcast. Yeah, exactly. You need to let it die. It's what I'm trying to say here. No. I mean, not Lawson. That's not what I'm trying to say. I meant the
dark.
I meant the dog.
Dark.
I meant the
dog. I know
dog.
we're criticizing the guy, but that's harsh. No.
I meant the dog.
Long live Liam Lawson. But no, I think there's a couple factors as well. I think Lawson's image has been damaged quite a bit. I don't think he's as good for PR anymore as Red Bull would like. I think he's lost some fans.
Liam Lawson.
Yeah. Like, I saw somebody recently say, like, here's some F1 propaganda I won't fall for, and like it was a list of things, and one of them was the RB PR team trying to push Lawson or something like that.
They're doing the best though. Like
I know,
whoever
but it's just like
is like in charge of that team.
They're trying. Whenever Liam Lawson said, "I'm not here to make friends," I think that kind of killed his likability for a lot of people. Not me personally. Like, I didn't care that much, but I have. It's left a stain. It's like a stain you can't get out of your white T-shirt.
For sure.
On his career, it's not looked good. It's kind of. I was actually. There's a F1 YouTuber I can't remember the name of right now who is just making a video on Lando Norris and his reputation and whatever and all these things. But that people are very much more prone to tolerate shit talking when you back it up, right?
For sure.
You can say Max Verstappen could. Let me think about what I want to say here. Could probably break into somebody's house right now, and they wouldn't even care that much because at least he's going out and winning on weekends. That was a poor example. Yeah,
terrible example.
Yeah, actually, no. Here. Max Verstappen Max Verstappen could walk in to the McLaren garage and just start shit talking Lando Norris to his face, like just being an asshole. But because he's winning, he can kind of do whatever he wants at this point. Like, people just obviously that's an extreme example, but it is kind of true. He says a lot of things, and people just kind of don't care because he's Max Verstappen. Lando Norris, for example, is what the video is talking about. He can't do the same thing, but that's also why Liam Lawson can't do the same thing either, because he just didn't back it up. He kind of came into Red Bull, got dropped right away. It has become a very much a stain on his career because he's like, I'm not here to make friends. And everyone was just kind of like, oh, well, maybe you should reevaluate that. Maybe you should make some friends while you're here before you lose your seat. So,
what an example, mate. What the...
Max could break into my house and I'd be like, fair enough.
Max could not break into someone's house. No one could give a fuck because he's winning in F1 race.
He could break into my house right now and I'd be like, you know what? Fair play, dude.
It's like
play.
You're in bed. Someone breaks into your house. You're like, holy shit. Oh my God, what's happening now? You see the guys
And
Max
you just hear,
Verstappen, you're like,
you just hear.
you said,
do,
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 do, do.
It's a fucking weird fan role play we got going on here.
Oh my
Anyways,
God, for real.
Ferrari. I'm like a little sick right now. I think it's fucking with my mental a little bit. I need some
Schizophrenia.
medication. Yeah. Ferrari has had the weirdest weekend in Imola. It's kind of been the perfect example of what their whole seasons looked like up until this point.
Yeah.
In Imola, they did not, neither car got into Q3. They were out qualified by how many teams? 6?
Not only did no Ferrari car make into Q3, not a single Italian driver made into Q3.
Well, there's only one, but
No, I know, but like, you know, that's like,
if you include the Ferrari drivers and Kimi Antonelli. Yeah, that's fair. It's like I saw people debating on who the Italians are trying to root for when Kimi Antonelli was going up against the Ferraris. I still think they probably prioritized the Ferraris, but it also reminds me that if Kimi Antonelli continues to be really good and then was also in the Ferrari, he would be worshipped like the second coming of the Pope.
100%. No question.
Like,
no question.
There's a clip from what's his name? Will Buxton, who says there's 2 religions in Italy. It's the Catholic Church and Ferrari.
Yeah.
The third religion would specifically become Kimi Antonelli if he was driving for Ferrari. That would become it would become its own thing of the Ferrari Church, I believe, unfortunately.
I'm Antonellic.
Antonellic. But no, so the Red Bulls out-qualified the Ferrari, or there was a Red Bull out-qualifying the Ferrari, 2 McLarens out-qualifying the Ferraris, 2 Williams out-qualifying the Ferraris. Aston out-qualified the Ferraris.
Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot about those two.
Those 2 out-qualified the Ferraris, which was kind of insane, and then they botched it in the race completely.
That's like crazy showing just to them.
And Alpine out-qualified the Ferraris, and a Racing Bull, a junior team, out-qualified both of the Ferraris. Both of the Ferraris. Just something to think about. And that was insane. But credit where it's due. Again, this is why I'm saying this is a testament to Ferrari's season this year. On like a perfect example, they managed to finish P4 and P6 in the end of the day. They had a pretty good recovery drive, got their strategy done pretty well. But it's always one or the other with Ferrari. They're either going to have a great qualifying and then botch the strategy, and Leclerc's going to go, no, what are we doing? Or...
Oh, that guy, he's through it.
He's so done with it.
He's so done. He's so done. Like, I've seen pictures of the picture of Leclerc, like, jumping into the Monaco Bay, and then just him edited out like jumping off a fucking bridge.
Yeah. No. Seems a bit harsh. But I was just like not expecting you to say that. I did see a picture though of him photoshopping him like jumping in like off something over the Monaco skyline.
And, it was over the Monaco skyline. It was
Charles Leclerc actually liked that image on Instagram.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he liked it. He liked it.
Oh my God.
And then I think Hamilton's getting there as well. I think Hamilton's realizing what the Ferrari experience has to offer.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
It's just, it's an emotional roller coaster over there. It is an emotional roller coaster over there. It does beg the question, when do F1 drivers start to realize Ferrari's not all it's caked up to be? I should just stay where I'm at, ride it out in my career there.
Well, but it's not about the performance with Ferrari, right? I mean, you're a legend when you win a championship with Ferrari. Don't get me wrong here. But you're also a legend when you're a Ferrari driver. Like,
Absolutely.
I understand it.
But you're also a legend if you start winning races. And there is a point where it's just like, we've seen it time and time again where we talk about Ferrari. Is this their year? Is this their year? Is it ever going to be at this point? I mean, it's been so long.
It's been a
Their
while.
last
Yeah.
champion was Kimi Räikkönen.
Maybe with Antonelli people coming through. Kimi Antonelli coming to Ferrari.
Well, that's if he goes to Ferrari.
See,
might just
because
like
he's from Bologna, right? And he wanted to. I saw something on this. God, I'm way too much on Instagram. Holy shit! Take my phone away now. But I saw the explanation to this about why Kimi Antonelli is actually in the Mercedes driver program, because it actually doesn't make a lot of sense. He went to Ferrari to do simulator testing, and he wasn't accepted in the driver academy because he was too small at that time. Like he was too young.
Genuinely the biggest fumble by the Ferrari.
100%. They absolutely fumbled the bag, and I believe like the day afterwards, Mercedes took Antonelli under the wing, which was the best thing they ever did. I mean, like Jesus Christ. But
Toto Wolff has like his own little baby.
I swear, at home, Toto Wolff probably has a Antonelli room, like just filled with pictures of Kimi Antonelli. Shrine.
He actually took that.
He's Antonelli. He's Antonelli. I'm saying it. He's Antonelli.
He's Antonelli.
100%.
I'm gonna ride that out. If Antonelli ever wins a race this year, I'm just gonna ride it out and say that the Antonellis are having a great time. The Antonelli
100%.
Church is having a great time.
Church.
No disrespect to anybody that is religious, but
100%.
that's my religion, Antonellic. Let me think. Williams has been pretty impressive. They arguably look like the fourth fastest car.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the fifth.
No, fourth.
McLaren.
I'd sign that. Yeah.
They're close with the Ferraris. Or sorry. Well, I don't know.
No, they're fourth.
Weird.
They're fourth.
You think they're ahead of Red Bull?
No. McLaren, Mercedes. Oh, I can't count. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm bad at maths.
Definitely the fifth fastest car.
Fifth to fourth. On some weekends, fourth.
Some weekends they're fourth.
On some weekends, fifth.
I would say
God,
in a lot of weekends they're actually fourth, because a lot of weekends they outperform Mercedes this week.
They just also have an elite driver lineup. Like Sainz and Albon is an insane combination.
If you're looking at the F1.5 championship, where you cut out the other top four teams, McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Albon is leading that championship by like 40
F1.5, that's a thing?
It's something people keep up with sometimes. That's not on.
I have never heard of that.
It's like they just cut out Red Bull,
F1.5.
They cut out the Red Bull drivers, the McLaren drivers, the Mercedes drivers, and the Ferrari drivers, and then judge the rest of the grid on their own thing. So, like, if you cut out those drivers, who would have won? Mm-hmm. And Albon has like 94 points right now.
Damn. Yeah, I mean,
smooth sailing.
Quick driver.
Yeah. So my point is that he's clearly the best driver in the midfield right now. If you can even call Williams in the midfield anymore. But it's funny because James Vowles has vouched many times that he did not care about the development of any car before 2026. And yet here they are kind of killing it. So it's
Yeah.
What can they do in the new regulations? We're either going to see Williams scoring podiums consistently, or Williams like at the back of the grid in 2026. There's going to be like no in between. It's going to be like one of two dramatic swings, I think, and that's where they're going to find themselves.
What an F1 life we're living right now. Jesus.
Williams on the comeback.
Williams on the comeback. Three-way driver fight right now. McLaren doing pretty well. Oof.
Could you imagine in 2026 we get a Ferrari, McLaren, Williams top three?
Whoa.
Ugh.
Whoa.
A little historical.
Oh my God, yes.
Got me feeling like I'm living in the best era of Formula One.
We're not living in the best era of F1.
There's no V10s.
I was about to say, we're
dealing
with V6s right now.
1.6 liter V6s.
The F1 cars look like clouds because they're so round.
Your fucking average, like, sedan might have a stronger engine than a Formula One car at this point. I I hate the V6s. Anyways, I think we covered a lot of ground on the race. Let's
Do we have a lot to
go.
say for a preview with Monaco? I think a few things.
I was gonna say let's just make predictions and
Oh, well, then we have to say there are some special liveries coming in. McLaren has
Yeah.
one which is not so special. It's just like a moved black thing. Don't you worry, mate. I sent you all about it on Instagram.
I saw that earlier today.
I will say though, the suits look sick. Ferrari has
You know what sucks,
something
though?
special coming in. With the suits, they have a white and blue suit, fully white and blue. If the livery is changed as well, what?
No, you're good. You're good. It's just my audio sounded funky, but go on.
Oh, good. No, if the livery comes out to be a special livery, I'm sure Ferrari has a great way of keeping it red and very minimal white and blue. So that livery is going to suck as well. Yeah, they're going to be some sick helmet designs coming. I'm very interested to see. I don't know if has Norris posted his helmet design. I've seen Oscar's, which looks insane. Oscar's helmet looks incredible.
I've been going through final season. I haven't been looking too much at
I don't think
social
he has
media.
posted anything yet, but
Oscars does look nice, but
Oscar's
I
pretty
do
good, and the
miss
suits look insane. The suits look lovely.
the suits look nice. It's all like I'm just thinking. It just makes me think though about last year's McLaren Monaco livery, which I miss dearly.
That was an insane livery. That was a beauty.
The Ayrton Senna one.
Oh, that was a beauty. I mean,
Brazil
McLaren
colours.
has been killing it with Monaco with liveries. They've had a few
Sure.
now, which have been really pretty, and that one's
Sure.
a bit of a letdown. Not gonna lie.
Petition to bring back the Star Wars Red Bull car.
Mm-hmm. That was also sick. That was also pretty sick. But
Yeah.
I mean, the three crown one was pretty cool as well. The orange, black, and white. That was
Big
pretty
fan of
sick. That was pretty sick. But this one is like,
Yeah,
the
no,
suits are cool.
I hear you.
The suits are cool.
The suits are cool though, and Ferrari seems to have run out of ink with their HP suits again.
Yeah, I've seen a comparison that the suits look exactly like an HP printer, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I can speak from experience. All right. Is there anything else? Is there any other cosmetics?
I'm looking for the Ferrari. Yeah, there seems to be no
Sorry,
different with
I've
the
been sniffling
livery.
this whole episode. Sorry, just want to apologize.
Don't you worry, pal. You're doing great. I'm going to cut out
I look
every
like I'm
single sniff
crying.
you do. No, I'm not.
Yeah, don't do that. Look, I've been trying
No,
to
it's
mute
just
when I can.
predictions. And actually,
Okay.
have you?
I've been trying to mute to sneeze and cough on the occasion. Because I know it's annoying.
What a man.
Yeah, just the kind of guy I am. Just the kind of guy I am. We are doing this before any practice session, so we kind of have no idea what's going to go on, actually.
Well, we do. Okay, should we do the predictions from last one because we didn't do a podcast on it, and it seems a bit silly to do it. But we did. We can't count it. I feel like we should just skip Imola with our
Yeah,
predictions
yeah,
because we did text each other predictions, and you did go for 3.
Yeah, no,
So I'm being very friendly right
yeah,
now to
yeah,
say we
I
will
think
ignore
should act like
those.
it didn't happen.
That never happened.
I do think, but we can do predictions for Monaco. We're just going to be kind of covering.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're just
Stuff
gonna
we have no
absolutely
information
airball
on.
it.
Yeah. Well, we're just going to shoot this week.
Right.
They say shoot or shoot. Okay. I'm going to say in Monaco. I'm actually not going to say anything about the McLarens. I'm tired of McLaren predictions because it could literally go any way. In Monaco, one of the Mercedes drivers will finish on the podium.
Mm-hmm.
Is my first prediction. I want to say Kimi Antonelli, but I'm going to hold off. I'm going to leave it open to interpretation because Monaco's a hard track to drive, so I don't want to get crazy. But it would be very poetic if he pulled it off. My second race prediction is that, and these are also basically just qualifying predictions, just so we're clear. It's whatever happens in qualifying is going to happen here. Second race prediction is that Ferrari's going to struggle again, and both Ferrari drivers will finish P5 or lower.
Okay.
And my third and final race prediction is that Yuki Tsunoda will finish in the top 7. He's actually going to win the Monaco. He's going to finish the top 7.
Okay. So, my 3 race predictions are going to be: number 1, I think there's going to be a Williams in the top 5 in Monaco. It's very difficult to pass. So we're going purely off qualifying, but it's doable though. It's doable.
I think it's doable.
It's not safe though, because Williams has been going like, they've been doing great, but they were like, it's like up and down kind of. Absolutely. So this should be a down race, but we'll see. We'll never know. Second prediction will be, I think Verstappen will be on the podium. That's my very safe one, because of obvious reasons, because you can't overtake in Monaco, and I think he's going to be sending onto the podium and qualifying. That'll be good to go. And my last
That's one, a good
point. My favorite one to do, and I swear I'll get it right one day, and I feel like Monaco is going to be the race, is 2 rookies will not finish the race.
Motherfucker is constantly hating.
I'm not hating on the rookies. I just hope they're going to be a lot of safety cars, because that's where Monaco shines.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
You bunch the cars up. Nobody's getting past anybody.
It's more interesting though. I don't want to see clean race for like 70 laps.
Yeah. No, elaborate on your thing, because I have to look something up really quick. Production team's checking something.
Production team is checking. We'll have to elaborate on my predictions I've just finished. So Monaco is always a dry race when there's nothing happening. Was it last time? Did we get rain last time? No, we didn't get rain last time. We did get rain last time. It rained last time.
Yeah, I almost forgot to mention something.
Uh-oh. Tell me.
I completely forgot about this, actually. I this is a fumble on our part. We're fake F1 fans. Monaco's forcing 2 pit stops.
Shut up. They're not. Actually?
Yeah, I forgot about this.
I did not see a single thing about this. F1... What?
All drivers will be required to make at least 2 pit stops during the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix. This will apply to both wet and dry conditions. Every car, if still running, must use at least 3 sets of tires during the 78-lap race.
I love that.
I love it too.
I love it.
Do I think it'll make that big of a difference?
No. It'll be interesting.
But will it? Do I at least get like 2 rounds of adrenaline watching pit stops go on? Yes.
It's like it's a drug. It's like it's a drug.
Dude, it's like
they've done a new thing. Ooh.
Something's changing. Because it's like otherwise, nobody's going to get by anybody. You can't overtake with the fucking big-ass cars. But might spice it up a little bit.
That's going to be really interesting. You can't overtake, like, at all.
It'll be very interesting to see how qualifying plays out.
And the strategies would be interesting. Because then, would you go for the soft on the last stint? Because you pit late and then... But no, you don't want to pit late, because you'd rather want to pit early to have the cars pitting after you. You want to undercut the whole field. And then do you go for softs? What do? Do you go for softs in the beginning to then have 2 longer stints?
I'm not a strategist. Don't ask me.
I want to... being a strategist is pretty cool, I'll say. Kind of on the wrong path for that one.
Yeah. Maybe you should.
Me and you both.
All right, but I think we've covered our ground. We'll do a little bit of a Monaco recap, as well as. That's right. We're on a triple header, so we got Spain after Monaco. We have like a couple.
Yeah, but Spain is going to be pretty boring.
Oh, so is Monaco.
Monaco's more interesting. Don't do me like that. Monaco is more interesting than Spain.
We're not going to get into this right now. The only reason it has the TV, like, it looks cool on TV advantage. That's it. Anyways.
Sure.
Thank you all for listening to this episode of the Pitlane Pals Formula 1 podcast. If you did enjoy, a bit of a chaotic one, Make sure you follow us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all the places. And we will see you after the Monaco Grand Prix with a race recap. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.